Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys two different ways that I transfer my images or my designs that I'm wanting to tuft onto my fabric on my frame. If you guys are new to this channel is all about tufting. We also have a website, rugbabe.com, where you can find tufting guns, tufting cloth, and a bunch of other materials that you guys might find useful. But other than that, let's get started. So our first method is actually printing out the design and transferring it that way. So the website that I use is rasturbator.net. And I'm just going to look up my image that I want to print. Today I'm going to be making a Jack Skellington rug. It's just going to be of his face though. So I'm going to look up the image that I'm wanting to tuft, and I'm going to pick this one. And I'm going to copy the image address and go over here in our Rasturbator, create your poster. And I'm going to actually paste the URL. Load it. Your image is going to be right here on the right side, and the paper that I use is US letter 216 by 279 millimeters, and I am going to do 6 sheets. So I've already measured my frame and literally put a sheet of paper on my frame, and my frame is about 4 sheets wide and 3 sheets tall. So this is going to be perfect for my frame since 4 sheets across, and it's going to leave me a little gap so that I'm not tufting right on the edge of my fabric, and a little gap here at the top as well. So 6 sheets is going to work for me, and I'm going to go ahead and press continue. No effects, continue. And I'm just going to leave it as multicolor since the image is just black and white. For any image that I print out, I just do black and white, and I try to find an image that has just the outline. If I'm trying to type some type of character, I will just look up that character's name and then put outline afterwards. So let's say I want to do a Hello Kitty rug, and I'm going to do Hello Kitty outline. Look in our images and print out an image like this so that, you know, it first of all doesn't use too much ink, and second of all, so we can just use it to trace. So if we just type in like Hello Kitty, it's gonna give me, you know, a bunch of these images with a bunch of colors. So when I print it out, it's gonna use a lot of ink, and it's just unnecessary unless you're looking for a specific image and you can't find an outline for it. So for instance, I did a CDG rug and I couldn't really find an outline. So I was trying to tuft this heart, but I didn't want to print out the entire heart and waste a bunch of red ink or black ink since it's entirely filled in. So I just looked up CDG heart outline, and there were very few designs. I couldn't really find it. So what I literally did was I chose this photo actually, and I zoomed into it and I kind of photoshopped this little heart out, and then I turned it black and white and I printed out this image, and it was pretty perfect. So it just takes a little messing around to find the image that you want and find an outline for it. If you can't find an outline for it, you might have to make one, or, you know, it takes some working around. So that's what I do when I'm trying to find my image for when I'm going to print it out. So back to the Rasturbator website, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue, and I'm going to leave this checked off, and I'm going to complete my 18-page poster, and it'll load and it will tell me to, oh, see, right here, down here at the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and click the PDF. Okay, so it took a second, but this is our finished. Right here on the left side, you can see. And what this is gonna do is it's going to print out our image nice and big so that I can transfer that image to my fabric. There's no other way I could do this unless, of course, I had like some kind of office printer, you know, one of those big ones that you could print out an entire image. But since I just have an at-home printer, I have to use the Rasturbator website to print out on my image, you know, cut it out, paste it all together, and get a giant image. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to print it out. Make sure that you have enough paper in your printer. Maybe it's just my computer, but if my printer runs out of paper and it stops printing all of my pages and I reload the printer with paper, it should pick up where it left off, but sometimes it'll start over from the beginning, or it'll just print them all out of order. It doesn't make any sense, but just make sure that you have enough paper in your printer. So for instance, this one is gonna take 18 sheets of paper. Make sure you have 18 sheets of paper so that it doesn't mess up. So over here, I'm gonna go to HP Envy. Make sure you select the right printer. This is my label printer. If you're looking to purchase a thermal label printer, you can find one on our website, rugbabe.com. And so I'm gonna be using this one. And yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and click print and print out all of these papers. After our image has printed, we are just gonna lay all the sheets down on a flat surface and organize the image. I'm gonna start by cutting the bottom section of the image, and I'm gonna cut along the right sides of the paper and the top part of the paper. Since we checked off the crop marks checkbox, all of the papers are gonna come with little crop marks on all corners of the paper so that it can guide you when you're cutting the image. So again, to stay organized, I just cut the right sides of all the papers except the last paper because it won't matter. And then I cut the tops of all the papers, and I do this for every single row. And then after I'm done, I tape all the papers together. This is our image all printed out, and I'm just gonna flip it around and place it on the back of the frame and tape all sides of the paper so that it can stay nice and still. Then I flip the frame around to trace the image, and this part's going to require somebody to help you unless you have a lamp or something like that. But what I like to use is a flashlight, or you could use a flashlight from your phone and hold it behind the image, and the image should shine through since the ink is black and it's on white paper and the cloth is pretty, it becomes pretty transparent once you put that light on the other side. And then I just trace the ink or the image that's printed out on the paper. Our second method is to use a projector to project an image to our cloth, and I do this by using my laptop, pulling up a picture, and then connecting my laptop to the projector using an HDMI cord. As you can see, it's plugged up here, and then over here is the cord plugged into the outlet to give it power. But yeah, it's just projecting this image. And then I just take a Sharpie or a marker and I outline the image. This is the projector that I'm using, and you can also find it in the link in the description below. So I would use my Sharpie to outline the image, and for instance this line right here, I would outline the outside of the circle and the inside of the circle so that I would know that I have to tuft in between those lines, and the same goes for the rest of the image. So here I am tracing the Jack Skellington skull, and I am using the projector because it's easy to use just by myself. It's just me, and the projector is projecting the image instead of, having someone else on the other side flashing a light. But one last thing that I need to mention about using the projector, and I think it's probably the most thing to consider, is that whatever image you are projecting on this cloth and you are sketching has to be flipped before you project it on your cloth. The simplest way I can put it is I'm going to put up an image right now. It's going to be of the word cat. We're going to use a word that way you could see like what it would look like. It's going to project like this onto the cloth. You're going to trace it, but when you tuft it, the other side is going to look like this. Yeah, it's going to say tack. It's not even going to say tack because the words are literally going to be flipped, or the letters are going to be flipped. So you have to flip whatever image you are wanting to tuft. It has to be backwards on the side that you are, tracing and tufting so that the other side can show up correctly. The difference between tracing an image that's being projected on our fabric versus tracing an image off of a printed out piece of paper is that the printed piece of paper is always going to stay that size. So if you are making multiple rugs using the same design, your outline is going to be the exact same every single time, versus if you are tracing an image that's being projected on your fabric, which you have to make sure that every single time that you are setting up your projector that it is going to be the same exact size. I feel the projector is perfect if you are just doing one rug and it's like super detailed and it would kind of be hard to trace off of a piece of paper. Then the projector would be perfect if maybe you're just doing, like I said, one rug. But if you're doing multiple rugs, I feel it would be a little hard to get that exact same size every single time when you're using a projector. So for example, I have set up my projector to project the same image onto my fabric, and I've printed out my image on a piece of paper, and it took a little bit of messing with to make the projected image match our printed image. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. That's as close as I pretty much got it, and yeah, they're the same size and the same width in the lining and everything. It's going to be the exact same thing. So when I take it down, you just either choose between your projected image or your printed image. And this is the image fully traced. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Make sure to check out rugbabe.com where you can find tufting guns, tufting cloth, and other tufting tools like scissors and needles that you can use for your gun. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we will definitely be back with more videos. Bye.